healthy feminine expressions, unhealthy or wounded, doesn't matter what you call it. This part needs love in order to be integrated, and acceptance. So unhealthy feminine expressions, manipulation, and you know what? I'm going to pause for a minute. You may hear terms, words, characteristics, adjectives, descriptions that you might inside be like, oh, I did that, right? Don't worry about it. It's irrelevant right now, okay? None of this is about judgment. It's about education, knowledge, wisdom, awareness, and empowerment. And again, I'll preface that if we're not aware of behavior that we're doing, it's more unconscious than it is conscious, as in there's not awareness around it. It's kind of like the autopilot. If we're not really truly aware of it, we can't shift and change that behavior for the greater good, for our greater good. So when I share these things, if you find yourself judging yourself, be grace. Give yourself some grace, be graceful, be kind, have some compassion. And also you'll probably notice, oh, that was my ex. Oh, that's my mom. That's my sister. That's so-and-so. Cool. Cool. Just don't beat a dead horse, so to speak, when it comes to that. Okay. So manipulative, selfish, codependent. Let me explain codependent for a second. Codependent is almost like, have you ever heard of the term enmeshment? It's like there's two people, a couple, and when there's codependency, it's like they're so enmeshed into each other that they don't know where I is in this us or we dynamic. Lots of people confuse that as somebody who really, really, really loves them. It's codependence because they have learned over time, again, normally from childhood, that I don't exist without you. And so therefore, I need to be around you, or they need to be around you all the time. It's healthy to have alone time and boundaries in relationships. And it's also, of course, healthy to come together. So codependent, spiteful, jealous, resentful, seduces to manipulate, victim, over emotional. In other words, everything is a big deal, right? You ever remember that like old term, make a mountain out of a molehill? That's over emotional. Over cries, overreacts. You get it. Needy. I put needy in here twice. That's hilarious. Insecure, delusional, overly passive, holds grudges. Overly passive. Let me explain that for a minute. Overly passive is like the pleaser, the people pleaser. It also can show up like, oh, you know, I'm just not going to say anything because it's not worth it. That's overly passive. It's like you shut down your own voice and you will tell yourself, this is interesting. You know, the person we lie to most in relationships, it's ourselves. You will tell yourself, oh, I'm doing this because I'm the bigger person. Or you're telling yourself that, oh, it's just not worth it. I don't really care. That's overly passive. You really want to say something, but you're so used to being shut down. And often we don't say something. We become overly passive for fear of how the other person is going to react. So if we've had an experience either from that person or from another, often our caretakers, of somebody who explodes or overreacts, we will then shut down and we will tell ourselves we're taking the high road, or we please, we walk on eggshells as to not disturb the emotional perhaps explosion of the other. Let's make sure everybody is muted, please. Okay, moving on. Low self-worth, holds grudges, needs to be saved, damsel in distress kind of thing. Overly attached, withholding talk, withholding sex. You understand? Critical and mothering men. When I say mother, sometimes we as women can, let's say, deliver too much constructive criticism. And we will do it because we love them. However, it comes off as like the condemning, controlling mother. And nothing squashes polarity, sexual chemistry, passion, fire, like that for a man from us. Not to be blunt, but no man wants to have sex with his mother. So if you are in the mothering energy of your man, then you're squashing that passion, that chemistry, that polarity that I was talking about early on. And something that's important too, that I forgot to talk about when it came to men. You never want to control, criticize, condemn, or coach your man. Why? It shuts him down emotionally. And for us women, a man should never make us feel unsafe, unseen, or unheard, because it does the same thing. So now let's get into the dance of the polarity and how all of this plays. Hold on, I just fast forwarded myself. I forgot to come over to healthy feminine. Okay, so healthy feminine expression. And again, just to come back over here to the unhealthy expression, wounded. It is always, because there has been unaddressed childhood wounds or unaddressed painful experiences from past relationships. Could be lovers, could also be mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, grandpas, brothers, sisters, doesn't really matter. Ordinarily, what happens is it starts in childhood and then it continues to manifest itself because we're always trying to seek to heal that part of ourselves. So we will call people to us that will represent what we felt and what we experienced in our childhood or in past relationships, so that that part can be healed. But if we're not conscious of it, if we're not aware enough yet of those patterns, of ways of being, then it causes us more so to withdraw than to address. Okay, so let's get into healthy feminine expression. So she is open. She is receptive. She is surrendered. Now that does not mean that if he cannot lead, you will surrender and submit to him. That is not what that means. That means if you can trust, and he'll show you, and you have to become the woman who can attract a man like that. And that's part of what this masterclass is about. You will naturally, your body, your being, your mind, your body, your soul will naturally surrender to him, not to be mistaken with submit as in dominance or control. It is a natural feminine thing. Compassionate. And I want to come back to this because this word used to bother me once upon a time before I did all this inner work. I would think, ugh, surrender. It's like waving this white flag. No fucking way. No way. I am strong. I am self-sufficient. I got this. If he can't meet me where I am, I don't have anything to do with him. All of that was just armor and ego trying to keep my heart safe. Innocence, it was bullshit. It was old childhood wounds manifesting themselves as that I can't trust a man. Now, you first have to come into right relationship with yourself before you can come into right relationship with your significant other. And when you start to embody these characteristics more so than these, you are coming into right relationship with self. And you will naturally surrender to your man. Not just any man, not just any man, but the one who you know is your man. Healthy feminine expression is also compassionate. It's vulnerable. And vulnerability, ladies, is not a weakness. It is a strength. I remember I would never cry in front of anybody. I would armor up. I would put off this front on the outside that nothing bothered me, that nobody knew they got one over on me, that crying was weak, that vulnerability was weak, and that I would never, never do that and be that. That was just my wounded inner child who needed to feel loved, safe, seen, heard, and not abandoned, and know that she was worthy and that she could trust herself. And she didn't have to guard her heart. And once I did the inner work, which is part of what we're doing, and I will say, because I would be remiss if I did not share with you, ladies, that during these 3 days, I am for sure going to offer you, invite you to work with me. Because as much as I am going to pour as much as I can into these 3 days, change does not happen often like that. It is repetition and consistency again and again and again and again and again that causes and creates long-term change and therefore results, sustainable results, going from Mr. Wrong to Mr. Right, and keeping it lasting, and it's passionate, it's fun, and it's playful, and it's deep, and it's transformative, and it's your best friend and your best lover. It takes, dare I say, time, but more so, attention, intention, and consistency and repetition, which is, when you work with somebody like me, what we do over time. So, just going to plant that little seed right now. So you know, because I would be remiss and I wouldn't be doing my job as a woman who wants to help women like you, because I used to be just like you, wanting that kind of relationship, and was like, what is wrong that I can't get the kind of man that I want? Why am I attracting narcissists? Why am I attracting passive men? Why am I attracting men where I have to lead? It was because the change had to come within me first. So if it resonates, when we get there, don't worry, we still got 3 days of awesome, awesome information and wisdom. If it resonates, I will invite you to have a conversation. So come back to healthy feminine expression. Vulnerable, which is strength. Trusting, you trust yourself first and foremost. Nurturing, supportive, creative. Us women are so creative, and we even create life in our wombs. We create businesses. We create beautiful homes. Flowing, think of like water. Think of like the power and the strength of water, yet it seems so effortless. That's what I mean by flowing. Water can rub and shape the hardest, most jagged rock into soft edges just by its flow. It's not beating it up. It's not resisting it. It just flows over it. So the flowing is strength. Naturally intuitive. We see things, men don't. We feel things, men don't. We know things, men don't. Feminine intuition, mother's intuition, it's a real thing. We are empathetic, very similar to compassion, right? We have empathy for others. We are authentic, true, real, not fake, not trying to put on a mask, not really trying to fit in, if you will. Authentic, weird, silly, playful, angry at times, a little edgy, wild, untamed, all of it, whatever it is, and then some. Authentic to whomever we are. Magnetic. Women are naturally magnetic. We live in a society now. I don't know if you've come to have this understanding, but the society we live in is very much a masculine structure. 24/7, hustle, grind, culture, go, 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 make shit happen. That is the opposite of who we are as feminine beings. This is why we will feel burnout and we're like, what's wrong with me? This is why we will feel exhausted. This is why our bodies feel off, too heavy. We don't feel ourselves and we can't quite put our finger on it. That's why. So women are naturally magnetic, as in we don't actually have to go out and do per se. We call to us. If you think about it, anatomically, men are built to give. Look at the penis. Women are built to receive. Look at the yoni. Look at the vulva. Call to receive. Be receptive. Magnetic, as in the magnet that draws to, right? This is also a reason why, when we are wanting the kind of relationship that is complementary to our energy, it seems aloof and elusive because we are out of our own natural essence when we're in that make shit happen, hustle, grind, control, 24/7, pop a pill, when you're having period cramps, get over it kind of thing, because it's unnatural. Make sense? Wild, not as in go out the bar and drink and get crazy drunk. No judgment if you do. Who cares, right? That's not what I'm saying. But when I say wild, think of like your primal self, your untamed self, the self that doesn't wear masks, the self that doesn't give a shit what anybody thinks. That fully expressed, non-suppressed, uninhibited. Yes, that one is perfect for wild. Sensual. We as women are deeply, at our core, sensual beings. Think of, this might be a weird, this might be a weird example, but I just got a picture of, like, think of a beautiful female black panther, and she's on all fours, and she's walking, and she is owning her essence as this beautiful, wild, majestic, beautiful, sensual creature. We have that, you could say, imagine, if you will, in the bedroom, that you're on all fours, right? You're on all fours, and you're on all fours coming up into your man. That energy, that is like that raw, primal, sensual self. That's who we are at our core too. Free. Oh yes. Truth speaker. We must, it's like our throat chakra gets blocked. When we are our most authentic, healthy, feminine expression, you cannot shut us up of what needs to come out. And it comes from a place of love, where maybe in the past over here, it was, let me tell you all the ways that you suck as a man, and you're pissing me off, and you don't do enough, and la 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 la, what a man would call nagging or bitching or complaining, right? Not that, because that's from a wounded space. When you're over here in healthy feminine expression, when you speak, it is with love, and it is with wisdom, and he hears you very differently. It doesn't sound like, do you remember the teacher on Charlie Brown where she was like, wah, 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 wah? It doesn't sound like that. When we're over here, it was kind of like what he hears, or he's like this internally. He doesn't hear a thing. And I don't know if I said we are wise yet, but we are wise. There is a term, more of an ancient term, that is so true for us as women: wise women. And it comes usually with age, not always. It's more of an expression, a consciousness that we are wise. We know things, we see things. It ties back to our intuition that men don't. And this is where we complement each other, because they have their own gifts that we don't, right? And it's like the yin and yang, it's the dance of the masculine and the feminine.